same thing, right? Felt a glow on the edge, I feel it coming in hot. Count it down, now watch it. Tap, tap down the hall, I move like I own it all. Chrome grin, locked on side, no sleep, just fight, fight, fight. Boots hit, clinging the floor, hear that knock, I want more. Hands up, I'm the spark, cut the dark, cut the dark. Pressure climbing, I can taste it. Every second I won't waste it. Riding higher, no back door. I was built for this one. Ring, ding, ding, I break through. Ring, ding, ding, I break you. Hands in the air, let it shake. I don't bend, I don't break. Ring, ding, ding, I'm right here. Ring, ding, ding, no fear. Say my name, watch it swing. Ring, ding, ding, ring, ding, ding. Red line, bright in my veins, I don't flinch at the strain. Cold look, still in my teeth, I make heat out of grief. Try me once, then you learn, every scar is a turn. I came up through the noise, now I'm loud, now I'm choice. Pressure climbing, I can taste it. Every second I won't waste it. Riding higher, no back door. I was built for this one. Ring, ding, ding, I break through. Ring, ding, ding, I break you. Hands in the air, let it shake. I don't bend, I don't break. Ring, ding, ding, I'm right here. Ring, ding, ding, no fear. Say my name, watch it swing. Ring, ding, ding, ring, ding, ding. Everything falls to white, then I come back twice as bright. Hold that breath, feel the spark. One more hit through the door. Ring, ding, ring, ding, ring, ding, ding, I break through. Ring, ding, ding, I break you. Hands in the air, let it shake. I don't bend, I don't break. Ring, ding, ding, I'm right here. Ring, ding, ding, no fear. Say my name, watch it swing. Ring, ding, ding, ring, ding, ding. Go back, go back, go back. When I'm done, go back, go back,
Evening, everyone. Hello, Internet. We're doing another React stream. Got a few songs on the lineup, and I want to actually do some commentary on Asmondgold's video on Alex Jones. I saw it earlier this week, and he kind of gave me some flashbacks, Alex Jones. It kind of popped in and out on the internet for me, and I wanted to kind of go over that video and give some feedback. I also saw on Friday that Smokey dropped a music video and happened to have featured me in it. Now, there's a story behind that. I'm going to get to that later in the stream. I'm going to first do just a quick run through on the first song that I'm reacting to. Grumpy Whiskers had recently just dropped a song called I'm Feeling Like a Stranger. Now, this one's not animated, and I've noticed a few of the other content creators that I've been following aren't able to do animations for their songs, and I can see why, with the AI units kind of clamping down on how many times you can do video and how long the video is. Oh my god, trying to stitch together a 3-minute video with just 10-second clips. that was a challenge in trying to figure out how to do that one. My next video, I've got a little more plan in it. It's probably going to just come in bits and pieces, just because I am not going to put into paying for any of the services just yet. Not with only 100 subscribers to be watching it. The investment's just not there. Though I am doing some improvements and updating of my channel site, and recently got a new banner commissioned by Erica, I believe is her name. Chat. Erica, yeah. Essentially, when I got on Twitter, my first experience on Twitter, wow. I've always considered Twitter just shouting into the void. No one's really listening, you're just shouting into the void. Not really the experience I've experienced now. But a few weeks in, and I had a few people following me, and there was a clear number of starter VTubers and commission artists, and the commission artists just really will follow anyone. Well, not anyone, I guess anyone interested enough to do work. But Erica and I ended up talking, and I started on doing just a simple banner, because I can't really afford to do, man, they all keep hitting me up to try to do a model, and right now Shadow is working for a model, just because, well, and I can't always tell if the camera is picking up on him. Yeah, okay, he is still moving. But since I just went off on a tangent there, I'm going to start with the first video from Grumpy Whiskers. So, hello Internet. This is another React video to AI. Shoot, start that one again. Hello Internet. This is another React to a AI generated music video. This one from Grumpy Whiskers, titled I Feel Like a Stranger. And this one is an straight audio, so it's just a still image, but we'll give her a listen.
these streets like I don't belong. Ghosts in the crowd, yeah, everything wrong. They build these towers, cities standing tall. Now they fight over pics, trying to silence us all. Laughter used to hit hard, feeling the air. Not one wrong word, they send the squad there. Lights that burn bright now, dim and low. Garbage piling up, where did the pride go? Doors kicked in for a joke or a line. Can't handle truth, so they cross the line. Freedom slipping slow like rain on the pain. What we used to have is slipping again. I feel like a stranger in this world tonight. I feel like a stranger, nothing feels right. I don't know my home like I used to know. I'm just a stranger, ready to go. What happened to the laugh, the truth, the fight? Reasons gone quiet, lost in the night. Where's the father, let us speak so free? I'm just a stranger, but I'm fighting back, see, yeah. They tell you what to think, what to say, what's real. Media with power, hiding how we feel. In the bars they hush every laugh, every sound. Afraid one word might bring the heat round. Always pushed out, told to fade quick. Traditions broken, no room for the sick. Hobbies and likes gotta change or break to fit the new rules. It's all so fake. They call it kindness, but it's chains on the soul. Humor's dangerous, criticism takes its toll. We used to question, laugh, stand our ground. Now we guard feelings, watch the freedom drown. I feel like a stranger in this world tonight. I feel like a stranger, nothing feels right. I don't know my home like I used to know. I'm just a stranger, but I won't let go. What happened to the laughs, the truth, the fight? Reasons gone quiet, lost in the night. Where's the father, let us speak so free? I'm just a stranger, time to fight back, see, yeah. They twist, they twist the words, can't say what is what. Facts get buried, feelings called a shot. Grown folks screaming like kids on the block, throwing fits when truth come to knock. Feelings run the game, facts push aside, reality bends to whatever they decide. No straight path left, no solid land, just clouds of nights. Covering the stand, what madness crept in while we slept too long. Where's the real talk, where's the fight in the song? We used to push back, rise up and roar. Now shields for the fragile, closing the door. Walk these roads like a shadow of me, but the storm won't last, wait and see. I feel like a stranger in this world tonight. I feel like a stranger, nothing feels right. I don't know my home like I used to know. I'm just a stranger, but I'm ready to blow. You feel like a stranger in this world too. You don't know the world like you used to do. What happened to the laughs, the truth, the fight? We're all just strangers, but we fight back tonight. Fight back, yeah, fight back. What happened to the world we used to know? Fight back, we're taking it back. Fight back, I feel like a change. Fight back, but I'm fighting back.
Yeah. Actually, I was looking across a lot of those posters, and the only ones I can really tell, I got Nux, I got Powder, I got Amber Paradox, I want to say Asmondgold, Kirsha, Leaflet, Shoe on Head. The other two I'm not sure. Juju, Sky Bros, and I saw the duck only in a Sky Bros reference, so I'm not even sure where that one's from. But yeah, the fox on the end, and I think the guy with the headphones is also another Sky Bros reference with Harambe. That's kind of what. Oh, right. Yeah, okay. I forgot about. No, because I usually see white tips in Smug's hair color, and I couldn't really tell that on her poster. And the duck's just an angry duck. Okay, well, before we get into the next song, again, this is a thank you to Smokes for the cameo in his, which has already prompted my response. Because where this story begins starts on Wednesday, where just kind of playing through, looking for music for the stream, and Skybro's No Fox Given came on. And it was kind of like in the melody and the vibe. And I really wanted to recreate that vibe. So I threw that through AI to have it kind of break down and just give me a structure for it so I could put it into Sono and recreate my own. And what it came out with didn't sound anything like No Fox Given. It had its own sound, had its own lyrics, but much like Three Monitors, it kind of just caught with me. Threw it through a remix. The remixes were pretty good too. Kept trying to hammer away, trying to recreate that sound, and unfortunately any kind of tweaks or stuff, I was just not getting it right. So that kind of left off. But that left in, okay, I'm going to have my own No Fox Given song to put out there. I'll get the video worked on after Friday, do it during stream. And then I see your post, Smokey, an hour before the end of my shift on Friday. And I'm thinking, okay, perfect. I'll play his song while I'm headed home, listen to how it goes, and then when I get home, I'll quickly watch through the video. Throw it on, listen through, really liking it. Get home, start watching the video, get to the part where I pop up, thought that was really cool. Finish the video, get inside, and I'm ready to wash up and get ready for dinner. And the missus informs me that we are doing a trial run of a dog. I am not a dog person. I will live with dogs, but I'm not a dog person. I am a cat person, because it's the only pet I can just feed and let them fuck off and do their own thing, and they'll come for cuddles when they want. So, we got a dog. Now, my little demon spawn has no fear of anything. He will climb walls, he will climb shelves, he will even try to play around fire and deep water. And he really likes the dog, but the dog is face height. And boy did not give dog space, and dog ended up giving the boy a nip in the face. So a 3-hour visit to the hospital to get 3 little stitches to fix up his lip, and he'll probably have a nice little scar on his lip right above. And the day after, he doesn't even realize it, and he's still back at that dog. So it'll be interesting in whether or not this dog will stick around, or the boy will learn to not get in the face of this dog. But because of your video, one of the remixes from the No Fox Given actually has a duet. So I've already kind of been putting together a cameo duet with you using the No Fox Given song. So I'm going to play through yours and do a react. Then I'm going to play through the song, and you kind of tell me how you like it. I've got the storyboard of how I was going to do the video up anyway, so you can take a look and see what you think. So, to begin with the next part, I'll get the video queued up. Oh, there we go. See, the poker theme, were you getting a lot of inspiration from all the card creations going through X? Or was that kind of going through your mind beforehand? Okay. Well, without further ado, hello, Internet. This is another AI video react. We're doing a react to a video called Neo Bets by Smokiefox. We'll give our response afterwards.
Step into the light. Place your bet. Chips on the table. I'm not done yet. Velvet ropes and a spinning wheel. Every second doesn't feel real. Neon flicker on my skin. Just to lose or just to win. Stack it high but my hands still shake. Every move's a risk I take. Read your face but I can't be sure if it's luck or something more. Heartbeat sinking with the bass. Smiling with the poker face. Every doubt I try to hide is a card I keep inside. All in, all in, all in, all in, all in, all. I'm making neon bets tonight. Play it wrong or play it right. Roll the dice, let it ride. Push my fear off to the side. Bet it all on what I feel. Even if it's not real. Love my way through the unknown. All my chips, now they're gone. Did you think you'd win? I'm making neon bets in the dark. Every choice leaves a mark. Roll the dice, hear them fall. I never had control at all. All in,
Nice song. Nice song. Now I'm interested in who the final boss is in this saga. Is this the final boss? Ah, no, not Wix. Go away, Wix. You took away my job. No. You took away my job, Wix. So I recognize, what is it? Lady Weeby? Websby? Let me take a look. Oh. Wasabi. Right, okay. Oh, hold one moment. Sorry about that. I was just not sure what kind of sound was traveling from the top of the stairs down. And I didn't want to again play through the microphone. So the thing that it only seems about the video series that I've noticed is this witch is slowly powering up in different worlds and realms as she goes along. Now, again, I am interested to find out how the end boss comes and the Wasabi card. But getting back to where I was saying that I had my own response, and that would be to a duet with the No Fox Given. So I'm going to play that now. The version that I'm going to be running through the video. The one that I was normally going to be releasing will be played later this evening. Oh, where are you? You're in my mix list. You're not in the stream list? I didn't put it in the whole point of the show. Because it just came out as a very convenient series of coincidence. There we are. Okay. So, my concept behind it is basically a duet in a sound studio. And this is my version of a recreation of Sky Bros' No Fox Given.
You built your name on a borrowed face. I built my brick by brick in a blaze. You chased the clip, I chased the truth. Same old scam in a brand new suit. Fuzzy tail, yeah, I wear it proud. You wear your mask, can't hide in the crowd. Say my name like it pays your rent. I see the grift through the screen you sent.
curate. You want a scene, I want the facts. You want a punchline, I want it back. You keep the smoke, I keep the flame. Say cancel me, I won't change. No fucks given, no fucks given. I stay true, I keep living. No fucks given, no fucks given. Hold out, I'm still winning. Subs in the chat, but your soul looks thin. All that cloud and the cracks still spin. Grift on repeat, same empty flex. I clocked your act from the first red text. What does the fox say? I say try me. I don't fall for a crowd that's hungry. You wanna fall, I want a crown. I make noise when the feed goes down. You sold your friends for a louder room. Now the silence got your whole page doomed. I got scars and a sharper grin. If you want the mask, go live in it. You want a scene, I want the facts. You want a punchline, I want it back. You keep the smoke, I keep the flame. Say cancel me, I won't change. No fucks given, no fucks given. I stay true, I keep living. No fucks given, no fucks given. Call it out, I'm still winning. When the feed turns cold, I still move like gold. You can't buy this pulse, you can't fake this soul. Fuzzy tail in the storm, still calm, still warm. Say my name one more time, I'll last your show. No fucks given, no fucks given. I stay true, I keep living. No fucks given, no fucks given. Call it out, I'm still winning. No fucks given. No fucks given. You get back, I keep grinning.
And that was my creation of Skybro's attempt to do No Fox Giving recreated. That came out nothing anywhere close, but because of how the AI kind of broke down some of the tech and the beats and some of the themes, I forgot to sanitize out the actual theme part, and so some of his context from his song came through. And this is the result of it, and it turned out pretty good. So I've actually got kind of a backstory going on it with I am kind of interweaving it a little bit with the 3 monitor story. I've been working on a backstory for another person, and they said that I could use some of their content. So they're going to go into a sound studio run by this pink-haired girl, and I'm going to pop up and change into a fox form. And where is 3? 3 is not it. 4? No. Oh, did 3 overwrite 4 overwrite 3? Oh, yeah. 4 overwrote 3. 2, 3, yeah. And 4 overwrote 3. Alright. There we go. Transition. There we go. Do the duet. It finishes off walkout. Very simple, because the scale on some of these animation tools just really restricts the time, and trying to stretch it. A 2-minute song is hard enough. So I am starting to see why some of the other creators are going back with still images. No, well, okay. It does have my form shifting into a Fox version, yes. I've had a idea of doing a Kurakumi Fox character way while back, before I started doing some of this YouTube stuff, and I kind of grabbed some of that material and threw it in, just because it kind of fit with the theme of the no foxes. No, because the idea is if you pull the mask back, you won't really see any real face behind it. It's just to act as more of a mirage. Because if you take a look at my activity on X, I tend to also sport a Ravens moniker. And so moving between animal forms is kind of the idea behind the Shadow Cat. Allows for versatility. That way, I can morph into a character. Because with a lot of the music I listen to, it is broad. Uh, I have had people ask what type of music I listen to, if I like their music. I'm like, you put anything on, as long as it has a good beat to it and a good rhythm, I'll probably enjoy it. I'm probably add it to my list. And my list looks like a motley crew of different music genre. But right now, I'm trying to keep it simpler. Kind of the idea, yeah. Ideally, I would either do still images or, and this is where, with talking with some of the commission artists, getting somewhat small animated avatars that could be poofed into as alternatives. No real lore. I've just been kind of bouncing some ideas off some of the other creators and stuff. There was one that actually had it involved where the Raven was going to be the lead avatar, and the Shadow Cat was going to be a familiar with a personality. That's kind of the whole enjoyment with the VTuber space is the fun. I was doing the gaming thing and trying to narrate myself gaming, especially if it's a one where it's an open world and you got to traverse long spaces. You got to come up with a lot of random shit to talk about just to fill the dead space. Because I've jumped in a few streamers that they'll have conversation when interesting stuff happens, but then traversing in between 15, 20 minutes, nothing really interesting, no extra background music. And I'm nowhere on an Asmondgold level of like being able to talk and talk and talk and talk. But speaking of Asmondgold, let's find out about his what he was going on about with Alex Jones, because definitely know that he agrees with some of Alex's opinions. I'm going to put myself on the other side there so I am not in the way. I'll grab the right box. There you are. Transition. Bingo. Hello, Internet. We're going to be reacting to an Asmondgold video. He is doing a reaction on a, looks like a Reddit post on Alex Jones and his rise and fall, essentially. So I'll be kind of stopping in between when certain things kind of come up in conversation that I want to bring up, and other times I'll just let it play through and comment over. Without further ado,
conspiracy theories that have turned out to be true. Is this okay? All right.
Alex Jones has been trying to warn all of us for decades. He's accused powerful people of hiding their evil acts in plain sight.
Yeah. Now I have to get the shit Bohemian Grove information out.
And then he was also right about Bohemian Grove.
He warned us about the elite pedo rings.
He was the guy who told me about
brought up Jeffrey Epstein.
Epstein's Island.
Jerry Epstein.
More than a decade ago.
Clinton took multiple trips to Epstein's private island where he kept young women as slaves.
They fly famous rich scientists and politicians and they compromise them with underage girls.
Police infiltrating protests to turn them violent.
Alex Jones had a great video called 9/11 The Road to Tyranny. It was the first time I really understood that agent provocateurs are a government strategy.
He even warned us about Bill Gates.
And I've seen Bill Gates say, we've got to get this down to 0. And he puts his clicker and puts an image of a human up there.
Most people dismissed him. A lot of what
Talking and mic not working. I don't know where you missed off on there. Yeah, thanks, sound. No, I wanted to pause because when Alex was talking about Bill Gates, I was definitely one that kind of shrugged it off because I hadn't really heard Bill talk about depopulating the human race as clearly as Alex has defined it. I looked at it as more as he was just trying to manage what he thought was overpopulation. But what I've also noticed, Bill tends to be a trend jumper if he's not the one leading the trend.
he said was absurd.
Gay people, I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay.
But the more prominent he became, the more these warnings took their psychological toll, sending him spiraling deep into alcoholism, which pushed him to even more erratic behavior.
I think that unleashed him. I think the alcohol might have unlocked his potential.
Behavior that would one day destroy him completely, almost like it was done by design, by the very people he warned us of. Because over time, piece by piece, parts of what he'd been saying started to surface.
I did take those plane trips with him.
But by that point, it had already cost him his entire life and reputation.
I don't know. It is not going to work that you are going to...
made obviously by our own creation.
You see, Alex Jones wasn't always such a mess. He wasn't this alcoholic Adderall addict, saying whatever he can to get clicks. In fact, in 1995, Jones was just a local Texas news reporter, and he was...
Yes, Alex Jones. Like, I think he grew up, like, he was in Austin. My mom would watch Alex Jones on public access television.
Pretty handsome and eccentric, although still grounded and tuned into reality. He liked a bit, but not too much, and he was proud of being in good shape.
I do drink some alcohol, though, and I probably should quit doing that because it makes me fat when I drink 2 or 3 beers before I go to bed.
His driving force...
I agree. He is a rabbit hole of rabbit holes, because a few things that he brings up I had researched a couple of years after he brought it up, before his name got attached directly to it. But when he was on public access, just clips that eventually surfaced on internet.
Back then were his worries about expanding government power.
Okay, I don't care about Republican Democrat. I care about getting my taxes cut. I care about getting government cut.
His biggest claims to fame back then was when George Bush had him dragged out of a press conference for challenging him while being governor of Texas.
About this.
Sir, shouldn't we abolish the Federal Reserve and the CFR?
And he was convinced that governments everywhere by nature are controlled by a shadowy group of elites. But back then, it was the Council of Foreign Relations he mistrusted most.
And now it's...
real reality that none of you will talk about, most of you are members.
Through history, governments have always been dangerous. You know, a certain elite controls everybody. Until we realize that Republicans and Democrats are the same people at the top, two sides of the same coin, puppet A and puppet B, we are not going to effectively change this until we are honest about who we're up against.
Back then, Jones had no idea who he would one day become. The US presidential candidates would invoke his name on the campaign trail, and he had no idea how this success would eat away his sanity and his entire life, driving him so deep into alcohol abuse that he just became unrecognizable. And that the war...
I have to tell you guys a secret. I was...
Well, do you like conspiracy theories, Goat Sushi? Have you actually researched into a few of them? In my younger years, I kind of researched into some of the older conspiracy theories that eventually just were released files. But once you start putting lines together, you start to get a little paranoid. And you start seeing things that not necessarily are 100% connected, but kind of loosely connected to it. Oh yeah, no, like famous conspiracy theory would be the infamous Project Ultra, or the Tuskegee syphilis experiments, where whistleblowers announced that governments were doing experiments on Americans in various forms, and no one believed them. And then like years later, it's like, yeah, no, we did do it, and the people are like, oh, okay, and just moved on. That's kind of what most conspiracies are. Yes, yep, Ultra was definitely true. But, well, a lot of components of it was true. There's still a lot of information that questionable whether or not the sources say is actually connected, or is just kind of wanting to go along with the fame of it. But you will definitely go down conspiracy theories. That Sunny in Philadelphia meme is absolutely true.
Walking to my podcast, and this is the one that we film with Ice. And I met a guy that was just totally randomly. He was a guy that worked at InfoWars, and he works with Alex Jones. We exchanged contact information. This happened a week ago. We had a very interesting conversation. It's crazy.
Yeah, actually, that is another one. 2016, year within Trump's presidency. Yep, aliens are real. Or no, not that aliens are real. Yes, the military does confirm we do see shit we cannot identify and cannot properly explain. So yeah, they could be aliens.
What are the odds of that?
Warnings he gave us would eventually turn to psychosis. But to understand Alex Jones, you have to understand that back in the day, he was an early genius of the internet. Someone who adopted it before anyone else, realizing it could give InfoWars unlimited reach. The reality is...
My mom was on the internet constantly. She'd be watching him, like all these other guys, like...
It wasn't a prescient move anticipating the web's domination. It was solely because he was booted out of traditional news for claims about Waco and the Oklahoma City bombings.
9/11 was the big one.
Myself and Steve Lane and many others to Waco, to the scene of the April 19th, 1993 butcher massacre of Clinton, the impotent, pus-filled agent trying to feel empowered, ordered his henchmen to go out and murder a church community and then drum up all sorts of propaganda as a test to see if they could kill people in the future.
His take on a story was always through a lens traditional media did not want to look at.
That's true.
Being cut loose from radio and local news set him free to follow the stories that really interested him. And one of those was Bohemian Grove. Bohemian Grove was a rumored paganistic society made up of elites from around the world. With some
crazy thing about this is that everybody thought this wasn't real, and Alex Jones, like, he just went there and he showed it and he's like, look. And now everybody just acknowledges, yeah, it happened.
Some of the most powerful U.S. government figures among its ranks.
And as I attack the Bushes for being some of the highest level members of the Bohemian Grove, it's now out that Henry Kissinger has been the high priest in past years. where they
The
do
high
these mock human
priest.
sacrifices, and some say for real.
But back then, Jones didn't have an audience of millions or a massive fortune at his disposal. He was just a determined guerrilla-style
Austin,
investigative journalist. And the seeds of his manic brand were
I'm pretty sure this is the underpass. If I'm correct on this, this is the underpass downtown Austin, leading into, it's like.
Oh yeah, no, I actually I saw the video when that one hit the internet as well. The funny thing is in the 2000s you have Family Guy and Simpsons using it as mock reference for their jokes, but yeah, the whole evil conspiracy of the elites in dark cloaks doing ritualistic effigy burnings. Yep, absolutely true.
5th Street or something like that, or
This is why, with the Epstein files, the talk about worshiping demons and eating babies is brought up quite frequently. And there's even a reference to George Bush cutting off a man's leg and then reattaching it. I don't know how that one works, but apparently he had separated his legs with a saber, and yet he still walked away to tell the story.
like the hospital, the Seton Hospital. Like, there are people living here now.
The seeds of his manic brand were already starting to sprout.
I don't want to be part of their sick control freak system. I don't like these degenerate, inbred, New World Order crowd people. They're not going to run my life. They're not going to control me. And I'm going to try to expose them.
So Jones actually decided to go out and locate Bohemian Grove and infiltrate one of their ceremonies to film the rituals. And he wasn't alone.
This is the story of one man's attempt
Okay,
to infiltrate
I'll
and
give you that.
secretly film inside
But out on a
Bohemian
yacht in the middle
Now,
of
it
the
seems like an unlikely
Mediterranean.
partnership, but Jones ended up joining forces with the British investigative journalist John Ronson to sneak into Bohemian Grove for a Channel 4 documentary, The Secret Rulers of the World.
2001.
Here we are, folks. Turning on to the Bohemian Highway and Bohemian Grove. We're going to find out what in the New World Order is going on here.
We were
This
there
is
in person.
25 years ago. Think about that.
They were burning.
For Jones, this was the equivalent of a flat earther reaching the icy ring surrounding
You
Earth.
saw the
and to be
firmament.
fair, it was completely insane what they discovered.
Yes.
The place was full of roped-up people practically wetting themselves with excitement in anticipation of their weird ritual of chanting and burning in effigy of an ancient owl god, all surrounded by some of the most influential and powerful people in the world.
I feel like that's a really big deal. I don't know. I think that's a really big fucking deal. That's crazy. What's going on over there?
For Jones, it was absolutely clear vindication that his New World Order really did exist. Now he was convinced
See,
that more
strings on
circles
boards.
and elite figures from
Strings
around
on
the world
boards
were
lead
operating
you
in
to
secret,
conclusions.
doing terrible things with impunity, protected by the highest powers in the world.
You cover up a crime, you're involved in it. I mean, of course the globalists hire a bunch of pedos to run things.
Even after that, almost no one was paying attention.
Nobody
It took
knew
Jones
Jeffrey
many
Epstein.
years to become the whiskey-guzzling rabble-rouser we all know him as. Because even though we look back on it more fondly now, the 90s was a pretty dull time for conspiracy theorists.
Yeah.
Western economies were strong, politics was centrist, tech was still pretty harmless and fun. Nintendo and Sony were the giants everyone knew about, not Palantir and TikTok. People weren't hearing things about Jeffrey Epstein compromising the
People were so positive and everything was so good in the 90s, and then 9/11 happened and everything turned into being bad. That's basically...
Now, okay, you have a point, considering that Mr. Epstein had his own personal island out in the middle of the Bahamas, in the middle of nowhere, that you had to be flown out. So I guess, yeah, a yacht in the middle of the Mediterranean is the perfect place to do experimentation.
What it was. Everything was okay, everything was fine, and then as soon as 9/11 happened, the world changed for the worst.
Yes,
elites, not
it did.
governments. There seemingly wasn't much to be suspicious of. But then September 11th happened. This sent conspiracies mainstream, and it gave Jones the hard launch he'd been looking for.
On 9/11, on 9.
The day after 9/11,
And I also saw this
a conspiracy or some
about
sort of
week
false
after
flag.
it was released.
11 of September 2001. Yesterday,
I didn't
as we do
pre-watch.
the show
I
live,
pre-experienced.
a mass
I was
bombing
there.
that I have predicted for the last 5 years occurred. They are going to now use terrorism as a pretext to destroy our civil liberties.
The moment shattered everything. The illusion of global peace most Westerners lived in. The basic level of trust most people had in governments and
Sushi,
militaries.
this is where
the security people felt living in the richest, most powerful.
Where some of the CIA operations that were not actually disclosed were where it brings out more conspiracies of false flag operations and being attacked to blame on another person.
For nations on Earth. Suddenly now, people were questioning everything. For Jones, this was confirmation that everything he'd been warning people about for years was true. But he took it to another level, and he didn't waste any time doing it.
Either the government actually carried out this bombing themselves, the New World Order occupational government, to create the crisis.
When you have the money and the wealth, it's easy to get away with shit.
They allowed terrorists from somewhere in the world who were state-sponsored.
He got kicked off of everything for
this. To engage in this sinister activity.
Despite a ramshackle online setup with a limited following, Jones started to make a splash with his relentless frenzied claims that it was an inside job. He warned us this was the latest in a string of false flag
and I never watched
operations by the US
InfoWars when he went on
to
there.
justify the expansion of government.
Only
and
caught
the
the clips
rollout
that
of
got
mass surveillance.
surfaced other places.
Isn't it crazy that, man,
throughout history, or allowed terrorists to attack as a pretext to invade and enslave the population.
Unlike today, the inside job element of this warning didn't go down with the country reeling from this incident.
I actually think this was the end of Piers Morgan's CNN show. I think Alex Jones killed it.
Here's a good one. Do you remember having to get on a plane before metal detectors?
Like, he just totally fucking...
Okay, I should correct that. Nah, metal detectors have been around a while. Have you gone on a plane before you had to go through an almost full cavity search? Where you didn't really have to take off your shoes, your belt, your wallet, everything that could go ding. Hand over liquids that are under or that are over a certain milliliter. Have your electronic devices swabbed. Times definitely changed after 9/11. Yes, walk to the gate. Brief moment in my history of air travel.
Just mobbed him, bro. Like, it was not even close.
Come on there, it's time.
Let me show you around. This is the ship hangar. Every vessel ready to launch at a moment's notice. Down here.
But it did bring in the USA's dark history of false flag operations into the open again, which was helped by Jones' repeated runs about Operation Northwoods, a rejected 1960s US plan to covertly facilitate Cuban attacks on civilian targets, or to justify a war against the communist Castro regime.
Oh yeah, that cliche had some meaning before 9/11. Being late and running to your gate in a last-minute ditch effort that the Home Alone scene is so famous for definitely was a thing. Now sorry, the kid was late. We couldn't even run to the gate. We had the long lineup. They had to search everyone. Lil Susie also got herself patted down. I did the full body scanner. Yeah. My mind does not tell me I'm old. My physical body on some mornings will tell me I'm old, but not every morning.
As a result, InfoWars started gaining some serious ground.
For those of you that can't tell, this is a small room that I've picked to use rather than the larger studios. It's much simpler and I can run everything myself.
even still in his tiny little studio. But soon as people realized the horrors of the Patriot Act, among the horrors of the Iraq War, his rising popularity and fame allowed for a much more slick operation.
I'm Alex Jones at Real Alex Jones. Stay with us. This is a war.
The more extreme his claims became,
you support raping children with battery acid,
the bigger his audience got, and the more rapid his
I
runs.
think also, like, there's another component to this too, where like he kept showing people things that were in plain sight, and he kept getting deplatformed and demonized for it. And then people, like, because there were things like, I mean, imagine exposing a secret society that presidents and other heads of states are in, and people are just like, I mean, that's crazy.
Became, the more his viewers laughed.
Not entirely crazy. I had an argument with my brother after the Snowden release because my tinfoil hat went into overdrive once those documents started to come down, and the amount of work that I do on the internet. And he basically just summed it up to a simple answer of, what does this have to do with the average person and the regular Joe, and no one's really going to care. And sure as shit, when was the last time anyone really cared about Snowden? There are a few people out there, but nothing. Conspiracies can come up, be shocking for a moment, sensational, and then just drift away.
It up.
Children walking around with their bald.
By the way, the response that people have to that, and
oh yeah, there's another one. When was the last time anyone has heard from Julian Assange since he was kicking and screaming from the consulate?
and a couple other things Alex Jones said that turned out to be true. That is the foundation that I base the expectation that, like, nobody gave a shit about the Epstein files. It's because this isn't the first time this has happened. It's happened multiple times before this.
Dying of cancer all around me.
That's it.
Why? This is a normal response to them.
So by the early 2010s, he now had a large but still pretty niche audience tuning in daily for his hours-long high blood pressure live rants on everything, from fluoride in the water to elite banking cartels preparing for the end of the world. But the 2010s also saw two huge events that would rattle the US further. And while this made Jones an enormous figure, it shattered his sanity even further, convincing him that he was now on a God-given mission to deliver the world from the evil of the New World Order.
How about that?
Which, being one of the most stressful things to take on, catalyzed his drinking.
Despite the incredible mission I've got and the whole world counting on me more and more to be the leader of a movement against tyranny, it's just to have hundreds of people coming up with light in their eyes just telling me how great I am. Let me tell you something. As good as I am, ladies and gentlemen, I like to chew tobacco. I like to drink whiskey. And I'll be honest with you, I have constant struggles and to, get a bottle of Jack Daniels. I don't even have the
Jack is a nice friend to have. Nice friend to have around, but can get you into a lot of trouble if you don't manage him very well.
Control.
The moment came where one of Jones's most outlandish claims was in part vindicated.
It was a staged event to launch the Iraq War and to set up a domestic police state here in the United States.
In 2013, CIA whistleblower Edward Snowden fled to Russia. Working with a group of international journalists, Snowden released a load of classified CIA files that sent shockwaves around the world.
I remember this.
In the wake of September 11, the USA, under Section 215 of the Patriot Act, had been secretly collecting the phone records and data of hundreds of millions of people in a global surveillance system.
But what happened in the wake of 9/11 was a whole bunch of government officials got together behind closed doors, and this was actually...
So keep this in mind whenever they tell you they can't figure out these Reddit retards that are going around trying to threaten the president. Keep this in mind whenever they say, like, oh, well, we don't know where they are. Uh-huh. Right, guys.
Led Dick Cheney. a guy named David Addington, wrote a secret legal interpretation. And so they did this, and this became a mass surveillance program called Stellar Wind, which they said was supposed to monitor the phone calls and internet communications, emails, and things like that of everybody in the United States and around the world.
Suddenly, Jones's fringe ideas about the deep state and mass surveillance of people weren't so ridiculous. People's newfound disillusionment with authority and the status quo cut
was the
through
next one.
US politics.
With
And
WikiLeaks.
Jones, having warned about this stuff for years, was finally the voice of a growing movement of people becoming increasingly paranoid about the government.
Unelected deep state operatives who defy the voters to push their own secret agendas are truly a threat to democracy itself.
And his own paranoia is only compounded when he finds himself at the center of a brutal presidential campaign.
Well, it was also that Trump called it out too. Trump basically said, yeah, there are a deep state amount of people that are controlling things, and it is billionaires that are doing it. Well, how do you know? It's because I was doing it.
Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump getting attacked.
See, and that's probably the best way to get your average voter to go with you, is just give a flat out straight answer of, yeah, I take advantage of this system, I know the rules, you can trust me, I'm telling you all about it right now. I'm not even bothering to sugarcoat it or lie. This is what I do. These are the tax loopholes I take, these are the friends and shoulders I rub with.
That was
major
it.
political and
That was
media
a huge
figures
one.
regularly across the world.
Radio host Alex Jones, who claims that 9/11 and the Oklahoma City bombing.
I was, even though I'm not in America, we get the American elections broadcasted quite broadly up north. And when the 2016 happened, I kind of watched it with like a boxing match, a fascinating interest between Hillary and Trump, watching both sides of the political debates happening and realizing one just irritating and annoying, and the other side actually having some valid points. You know, not the most polished way to say it, but you know what? My grandparents were the type of people who just spoke plainly, and if you can't say it straight to me, then don't say it at all. So it wasn't really a surprise seeing Donald Trump win in 2016. It was a hell of a night to watch, I have to admit. I had so much fun laughing at the expressions on the newscasters as they were coming to the realization that Trump was going to be president. And then the next day, of course, I'm hearing my coworkers complain about it with a giggle in my voice. But let's move on from Trump and Hillary here.
Were inside jobs.
Trump, however, openly stated his admiration for him, which swelled Jones's audience even further.
That's
right. Saying your reputation's amazing. I will not let you down. You will be very, very impressed, I hope. And I think we'll be speaking a lot.
His drain the swamp mantra and endless attacks on the status quo found a powerful supporter in Jones, whose interview with Trump in 2016 is said to have helped Trump get over the line and into the White House.
If I'm elected president,
I think that it definitely locked into schizos. The moment that Trump, like, and also, like, I don't like that this video glossed over the Piers Morgan interview. I do think, because Piers Morgan was like, I mean, he's a sharp guy. He is. And like nobody mogged Piers Morgan on his own show the same way that Alex Jones did. Like they brought on, I remember, like Jesse Ventura, and Jesse Ventura mogged Piers as well. But the difference is that Jesse Ventura wasn't like militant about it. He was like much more relaxed. Everything was fine. But the moment that like you brought Alex Jones on and he just and I'm talking about, again, back in the day, like Alex Jones going on Piers Morgan and just totally fucking like just bulldozering him. Like I really think that was a massive aura gain for him. It was.
See, and funny enough, the Alex Jones interview kind of passed by me. I don't know what was much more interesting at the time, but I didn't get into it until much, much later in seeing it.
We are going to drain
that was like
the swamp
last year.
in
I'm talking about like 15
Washington,
years ago.
D.C.
So
About a long time
suddenly
ago.
Jones's once fringe ideas were now being amplified by the most powerful man in the world. The head of the government he'd spent years attacking was now his personal champion. This was Jones's peak, but after a peak, there is always a fall, and Jones had a long way to fall from the heights he'd reached. With his drinking and Adderall use getting out of control, his marriage was collapsing.
I can't stand to be at a party where alcohol's being drunk and not drink it. I am weak. My flesh is weak.
His wife divorces him, and a nasty and at times very public custody battle for their children engulfs his private life, with his wife doing TV interviews attacking his character. People in Texas start filming him and harassing him in public.
That's definitely him. He's a rage-filled person.
After a non
Poe's mad, bro. Like, yeah, get the fuck out of here. Like, yeah, I don't believe. And also the other one, it was a huge, like the big one that happened too was Sandy Hook, because I think Sandy Hook happened before Trump. It was like 2000 and like, I don't know, like 13 or something like that. Like, I don't remember about like when the timeline was, but it was really.
Depends on the kind of X. If it's an X looking for money, for sure, and an X that is looking for the children so that she can get the biggest payout for the money, yeah, that is bad. You can have some pleasant X's that are decent to walk away. I mean, Johnny Depp had, what was that one that had to do a in his trial? I can't even remember. The one that was accused of getting pushed down a flight of stairs, and it turned out it was not Amber Heard. No, Heard was the one he was fighting against. She made her claims. Amber made her claims based off of quote unquote rumors that Johnny had previously pushed a former girlfriend down a flight of stairs. And when she did that, she opened up having to bring her on as a witness. I'm trying to remember who that person is. You know what? I'm going to look for it and let the video run.
I mean, that was the big one. Like, because that's actually what cooked. Like, Alex Jones was not cooked except for that. That was the only thing that really fucked him.
9-day trial, a jury awarded Kelly Jones joint custody of their kids, making her home the primary residence instead of their father's.
Wow.
He appears on InfoWars looking worse and worse, often with red eyes and a swollen face.
Because then it was a secret. I had a divorce 3 years ago. I tried to keep my kids out of it.
You can see his brash character start to fall apart at the seams. There were days he almost burst into tears on air.
But there were good people in the government.
He also starts becoming way more direct about the elite circles he believed were running the world. He also speaks more openly about powerful pedo networks, and he was one of the first people to bring public...
Kate Moss, that was the name. Yeah. Kate and him apparently broke up on good terms, and during the trial, she basically backed Johnny saying, no, he didn't push her down the stairs. That was who I was trying to remember.
Attention towards Jeffrey Epstein's first arrest, when most people still had no idea who Epstein even was.
That's right.
When you've got the same FBI a couple years ago with Jeffrey Epstein, who had the Lolita Express, with Bill Clinton on at least 16 round-trip flights to the Pile Island, he got convicted of running.
And years later, the truth about the scam...
Yeah, I understand. Amber took up a lot of his time when he finally got married, and then the divorce and separation was definitely a flame show on the internet, for sure.
The scale of his crimes filled the headlines every day. Only more than 10 years later have some of the most central figures and longtime targets of Joneses, like the Clintons, been dragged into depositions to answer for their friendship with Epstein.
Do you believe you...
This was crazy, bro. Like, he sees the Epstein files and he's like,
Or a victim of a Jeffrey Epstein intel operation.
Oh man.
Do you think that you might have been like caught up in some of what he was maybe potentially doing?
See, and just look at Bill's hands shake as he's sipping. Now, you can say because he's old, but I think he was pretty nervous while he was thinking about that question there.
Did you ever receive a massage or have physical contact from her or anyone else on that trip?
You've seen the pictures. There was one time when I was sitting up and I got a back rub, a neck rub.
And Jeffrey Epstein, who had regular orgies at his Caribbean compound that the former president visited multiple times.
His audience kept growing. Jones became ever more convinced of himself. The threats from the elites and mainstream media grew, and the pressure was now mounting. But still, he kept the show going. Now he was deciding to take aim at another billionaire in his line of sight, one he'd warned us about for years, and who had been ignored. Bill Gates. Jones was an early critic of Gates, and his
completely fucking vindicated, by the way. Once again, completely and absolutely fucking vindicated. How did he know all that, though? Because you would really be surprised the amount of progress that you can make on something if you are an above intelligence person who's completely fucking insane. If you look at history, you will see above average people that are completely fucking insane on every page. That's it. That's literally it, man. Obsession? Yes.
Artificial nice guy act. He saw the contradictions in Gates' claims to want to help the world and poor people, all while desiring to control overpopulation by decreasing the global population.
Sterilizing people.
2 weeks ago, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, secret meeting of the rich with Warren Buffett and Ted Turner, and it said the main agenda was reduce our population by 80%.
The world today has 6.8 billion.
See, now that makes the Simpsons reference when he's part of the evil organization hit so much truer. But I didn't pay attention to Bill's philanthropy after he left Microsoft. I unfortunately stayed more attentive to what Microsoft was doing because that tech was more interesting. Seeing Gates pop up kind of reminded me of Bono a few years back when he would go around doing his philanthropy and good works. So I thought Bill and Melinda were doing the same thing, not trying to suppress, we'll say, the population.
People, that's headed up to about 9 billion. Now, if we do a really great job on new vaccines, healthcare, reproductive health services, we could lower that by perhaps 10 or 15%.
New vaccines to lower the population by 10 to 15%. And healthcare services. Are we making people more healthy, giving them more opportunities to have healthier children, or just sterilize them? Hope they kind of work themselves out.
Particularly in poorer places like Africa.
But it's really Africa that still has doubling in population to 2050.
Of course, Jones's take on Gates' plan for Africa's population growth was a little less nuanced.
Murder Africa! Invasion force! Release us! I mean, these are kook, cult, demons, hardcore evil. I mean, these people are flaming scum.
While regular people were horrified that one of the blandest billionaire geeks on the planet was also a part of the Epstein files, Jones...
And he was right about that again. The thing is that he's shouting it from the rooftops. He's trying to tell everybody, but no one wanted to listen.
This is Pocket. I never go anywhere without it. At the tap of a button, it records and creates organized notes based on your conversations. I use it at work, at the doctor's, and when I'm out and about. I could use an app, but it's effortless. Pocket does things no
was now vindicated and climbed even further into his own mania. By this point, he was no longer on the fringes. He was now mainstream. His
because Sometimes he said a lot of things that not necessarily were appreciated, and not a lot of things that necessarily were accurate. Like, here's a good one, Pizzagate. I remember the Pizzagate scandal in 2016 that kind of got swept under the rug, and easily can be passed off as just internet trolls creating sensationalism. And Jones, having a very boisterous personality, definitely creates sensationalism that maybe everything he's saying is not necessarily should be taken seriously. Because a madman screaming in the streets that the end of the world is coming is not necessarily an accurate man.
YouTube channel was clocking up more views than established broadcasters like MSNBC. He was worth hundreds of millions, had hundreds of millions of followers, had the president's ear. He was completely untouchable. Or so he thought. You see, he starts getting drunk on air more often, with wild appearances on podcasts like The Joe Rogan Experience, where his unhinged...
Legendary. No. Let's not reframe this, okay? Joe Rogan and Alex Jones.
It was a good show.
Have been
a
friends
very
for like
entertaining
30
show.
years. So let's not pretend like Joe Rogan was like, oh wow, Alex Jones is so crazy. No, Joe was gassing him up. Joe was saying, oh, and then what, Alex? So what about that alien shit? So what do they have in area? So who's this Bob Laser? Who is this guy? Yeah, well, let's not rewrite history. They were in this together.
State is overlooked as it's just part of his...
We need a new one, by the way.
Brand now.
No, I love being here. I'll sit here and like tell fart jokes if you want. I'd rather get drunk and just have a good time.
This episode, number 911, was done purposefully by Rogan in honor of Jones's career turning point.
I knew I go, okay, there's a certain number of podcasts I have to do to get this to 9/11. So Jamie and I worked it out, and we did it.
It was hugely successful, the biggest mainstream conspiracy theorist being egged on by arguably the world's biggest interviewer, which then sent Alex Jones into the stratosphere. And he didn't disappoint.
Well, this was all, yeah, no,
he
not
was
at all.
in his own fumes and happy to say absolutely anything, knowing people would still believe, and he'd face no consequences.
Well, the problem is that he was right.
On one of Joe Rogan's most popular episodes of all time, that has since been deleted, he appears in a NASA shirt.
Think about that. It got deleted. Every other interview didn't get deleted. That one got deleted. Why would you do that?
And is seemingly more crazy than he...
Steve Bannon was also considered one of the most powerful men in D.C. when he had Trump's ear. It all depends on who has the king's ear.
He's ever been before. Over the course of nearly 5 hours, he rants about this kind of stuff.
5 hours.
Native Americans, you can mind control really fast. 20 years ago, they had spiders that produced body armor, spider guts. Okay, they have human-animal hybrids. 30 years ago,
human-animal hybrids. Then the Epstein files reveals human-animal hybrids. Then Tim Burchett, the senator from Tennessee, says that they have human-animal hybrids. Wow. What are the odds of that? That's crazy.
You've got giant human tissue farms. Right. Aliens are real. They're creating human-animal hybrids. They admit 5G in all the studies, LA Times, causes massive mutation and cancer.
Wait a minute,
and literally rattles your DNA apart. All of our kids are under attack. NASA is the German breakaway government.
It was from this point onwards that Jones never returned to his previous, more stable state. Adderall and alcohol had now taken the wheel, and his downfall was near.
Jones was arrested in Texas on a misdemeanor charge of driving while intoxicated.
Yeah.
His claims didn't need to make sense. That wasn't his stock in trade anymore.
The problem is that they did, though. That's the they did make sense. That's the situation.
Once you get all the lines connected, then the whole picture can be seen.
He didn't need to be right, he just needed to go further. His off-air actions got worse. He very clearly starts cracking, and it's only a matter of time before he gives the people who want him gone exactly what they need to finish him. As he crosses a line he can't come back from, making his now
Sandy Hook.
about Sandy Hook never occurring, that the children didn't exist, and the grieving parents
And yeah, this I saw torpedoed him.
Years prior to the podcast and this point.
Because I didn't really believe when he made the claim.
After his followers turned on the parents, and all the evidence proved him wrong, he had to be dragged kicking and screaming to walk it all back. This was the first time he'd actually had to take accountability for his more wild statements. Although he questions the legitimacy of the attack when it happens, he isn't famous enough for anyone to care. As his star rises, his repeated claims are heard everywhere, bringing Jones all the wrong kinds of attention. His followers turn on the parents, sending them death threats and accuse them of faking their grief. And so in 2018, a way to silence him was found. He could have InfoWars, but no big platform allows him to use their base anymore. He was taken off the biggest...
as soon as basically every single social media company at the same time deplatformed Alex Jones. They all, like, it was in one morning, and he was taken off of every social media platform. Was he right on this one? I think he was wrong on this. This is stupid.
Social media platforms all in one single moment. YouTube, Facebook, and then Twitter, wiping out a huge chunk of his audience and his revenue. For those who didn't know Jones, now he was infamous for being one of the most silenced individuals online. His daily audience then fell from 1.4 million daily views to 715,000, and it only went down.
By the way, that's ridiculous. If you get taken off of every major social media platform and you only lose half your audience, that's nuts.
From there, suddenly all those huge popular Joe Rogan episodes were wiped off YouTube and Spotify. Anything with Jones's name was considered hate speech. Bootleg re-uploads are quickly taken down, and it's clear that tech companies are serious about silencing him. He's seen as too toxic, and they're not going to jeopardize their profits for a wild card, no matter how much his supporters...
I don't think it had anything to do with their profits. I think Alex Jones was a ideological enemy, and they systematically worked to come up with an excuse to delegitimize him. I think that it had nothing to do with, like, you know, any sort of the company looking out for itself or anything else. I think straight up, they just wanted to get rid of him. That was it.
Shout about free speech. Even when the evidence on Sandy Hook eventually proved him wrong, he was dragged kicking and screaming to walk it all back in court, as he's not used to actually having to take accountability for those wild statements. In his trial, his lawyer tries to dismiss his claims as part of an eccentric character Jones plays on air. Jones himself confesses he has psychosis, which is at the root of a lot of his claims, but it doesn't fly.
And I myself, almost had like a form of psychosis back in the past, right?
The judge sides with the victims and orders Jones to pay an eye-watering $1.5 billion in damages.
Completely done. By the way, see, this is what I said before. Remember how I said that, like, you need to weaponize the justice system as much as you can? And, like, if it was up to me, I would absolutely weaponize it against my enemies and do so with complete, like with I would not even consider it. I would instantly do it. It's because $1.5 billion defamation lawsuit. Are you kidding me? This was so obviously politically and socially motivated. Like, they were doing this to him in order to damage him as much as possible. Like, I don't think that this was... how is this proportionally defined based off of anything? You can't defame dead people? Well, no. I think that, like, obviously it should have happened. But the 1.5 billion number, this was obviously done. It's not about the money. It's about sending a message.
Yep, I agree. When I heard the verdict come down, I kind of knew that he was going to lose on that. But seeing the size of it, it was definitely looking like there were a lot of forces that were trying to silence Jones. Not only knocking him off the platform, but it almost seemed like the lawsuit was coordinated with billion. Yeah, well, billion seems crazy, sort of, but when you have a widespread organization and a large reach of audience, the internet amplification makes getting hundreds of millions very easy into the billions. This is why Musk being a billionaire is just nothing in our day and age, where you consider like the Rockefellers and Carnegie, they had millions of dollars. So scale-wise,
that's it.
But they were definitely looking at completely liquidating him so he'd be homeless,
forcing him to declare bankruptcy, and there is no recovering. But it makes you wonder, what stuff does this guy really believe and warn us genuinely, and what does he say as just part of an act?
Never forget that they did that. And that, again, and also, like, I think he should have been held accountable for it. But to do that after all of these different big companies collectively, like, I mean, what do you think the odds are that they all banned him on the same day randomly? They clearly coordinated this. So what do you think that, what do you think's going on here? This is the reason why I am always a big advocate of pulling every lever of power that you can possibly have. Always do it, because if you don't do it, your opponents will. And if they do it, they're not going to let you do it again. That's it. Twitter files show this coordination. Yeah, because they, of course, didn't they try the same thing with Trump? Exactly. I wish that there were more people that felt the way that I did, but too many.
See, and I heard that there were individuals connected with Reddit and Reddit's founder connected with the trial in being able to fund and keep it going in order to bankrupt Jones.
People are blinded by a principle that's defined by their enemies. And unfortunately, it's causing them to lose, which is by design.
For all his antics, is a really smart guy. He's an incredible speaker. And when you look at his past and all the warnings he gave us, a lot of them turn out to be true. He even said back in the day he has all this performance just to be entertaining.
Well, I get pretty hot on a lot of these shows, and I wouldn't say really angry, just more, excited. I mean, for me to, try to make it entertaining and at the same time give people information, I let myself get pretty excited.
But from that point onwards,
everybody does this, by the way. Everybody does this. It's nothing unique with Alex Jones. They just do it in different ways.
Realized that the more he lent into extreme behavior, the more interested people were.
The
algorithm favors extreme content.
Everything I'm saying is true.
So when did this act become his actual personality and astray his warnings? Well, very few people actually knew him well. His ex-wife told the media that the screaming, rapid-fire, monologuing conspiracy theorist is just who he is.
Is this acting or is this real? That's definitely him.
I'm not gonna believe your ex-wife that's trying to get custody and all your money. I'm not gonna believe her. No.
Rage-filled person.
But this was also in the middle of a very messy custody battle for their kids during a very messy divorce. Only really 2 other people genuinely knew him since he was an apolitical upstart shouting at George Bush in the 90s. And what they have to say about him fills in a lot of the blanks around someone who is clearly gifted, but also deeply troubled.
He's been diagnosed with narcissistic personality disorder, so I think an awful lot of the things that he does is because he has that disorder.
John Ronson is one of the very few people who actually tried to get to the heart of Alex Jones, and after learning his origin story from an unnamed employee of Jones's, Ronson revealed the reason Jones is a conspiracy theorist.
Alex has an origin story about how he was hounded out of Dallas and had to move to Austin because he uncovered police corruption and the police hounded him out of town.
What do you think the probability of that being true is? I think it's pretty high.
They had cops up there that I knew were drug dealers, and I stood up and I said, I was at a pool party. He was selling.
I've had friends that have sold drugs to cops. Like, this happens. Yeah, it happens. Like,
see, last week, they took me in an office, ran my head in the wall, told me, we're going to kill you and have black people with foot-long dick you in the ass tomorrow. But they said, you're going to move out of this town right now.
It's because he was a bully, and everyone was afraid of him. And one day he was invited to a party in a barn, but it was a trap. He was basically the victim of a conspiracy. And it was all the kids who he had bullied beat him half to death. And that's why he left town.
Yeah. But Alex Jones got dumped on his head when he was in high school. He's speaking about getting bullied in high school.
Yeah.
This guy picked him up and pile drived him, slammed him on the concrete on his head when he was, 15, 16 years old, and he was worked ever since then.
And this guy said, you know, isn't this extraordinary that Alex became a conspiracy theorist because he had been the victim of a conspiracy? Not uncovered a conspiracy, but been the victim of one.
Rogan says that Jones wasn't lying about Sandy Hook. It's just that he's not even capable of thinking straight.
He wasn't lying. He just was wrong. He really believed that the government had faked it to try to confiscate people's weapons. Like, he's just...
Well, I mean...
But it was a haze of drugs and booze and a psychotic break and, like, legitimate traumatic brain injury.
And then you see him today, where he's barely able to speak because he's so drunk on just a handful of podcasts that will have him on.
I think that this is I think this video is unfair to Alex Jones. I think that like, we're not even talking about the fact that he was right about the frogs. Like the Epstein stuff of him bringing that up as well. Jerry Epstein on Joe Rogan. I think that Alex Jones was right about at least 25% of the stuff. And the thing is that the 25% that he was right on was the most important 25%. The thing is, like, I understand, like, he made mistakes. He did shit that was wrong. That's true. But when I see all of these social media platforms that are collectively trying to deplatform him and do this all entirely, and there is a massive, like, never even heard before $1.5 billion defamation lawsuit against him, dude, like, I mean, at what point can you not say that this is very coordinated foul play? I mean, really. Like, that's
See, and they use the same tactic when they banned Trump all at the same time. Much like the banking cabal and the industrialists, you have a tech cabal. And newest players are Palantir. I know there's another one there. Palantir. That's it. Not Palantir. Palantir. Palantir? No. I'm getting the exercise company mixed up with the spy company. But let's move on.
Crazy. The reality is, when he talks about Sandy Hook's suspect compared to the other Epstein stuff he got, right? Yeah. And again, like, I think that was wrong. Like, for sure it was dumb. And he said other things that I think were dumb too. But that doesn't mean that everything is dumb. And also, by the way, Tim Pool is really well known. It's not like this is a random podcast. This guy's very well known.
It is not going to work that you are going to...
made obsolete by our own creation.
Indeed.
All desperately trying to escape the financial ruin by declaring bankruptcy for losing the trial. Perhaps the final nail in his coffin is that his political North Star has strayed so far with his attacks on Iran that Jones now finds himself back on the outside of mainstream political thinking.
That I have to intensify my criticism of President Trump. No, Trump's out of his mind. We didn't betray Trump. He betrayed us. But just on the genocide issue alone, Trump says, I will genocide your entire country, which is an open war crime. Even say you'll do it when you have the weapons. This is terrorism.
The America First, No Foreign Wars, MAGA movement that Jones championed was thrown out of favor in return to the old US politics of Middle Eastern wars that he used to criticize so fiercely. Along with everything that happened with Epstein, and now Jones is in favor of having Trump impeached. This is something he vehemently criticized when it happened in 2019, relentlessly attacking the Democrats for the move and calling it a hoax.
So what do you think's coming next with the whole impeachment hoax? Because it is a hoax now.
Well, he doesn't agree with it. It's pretty simple.
They may never send it to the Senate.
It got so bad that Trump even responded on Truth Social, calling him bankrupt Alex Jones. And now Alex Jones even denies that he was ever a conspiracy theorist, saying this was all just a ploy by the media and CIA to undermine him.
That's why I get mad at the shows that are, innuendo and conspiracy theories. I've never been a conspiracy theorist, folks. That's what the media calls me. That's a CIA term.
In the end, it's not really clear whether...
See, and the wording conspiracy theory is a misnomer, because everyone assumes the word theory means guess or assumption. No, that would be like a hypothesis. A theory is usually rooted in factual information stringed together by a logical series of events. The conspiracy is just a group of 3 or more people that work together. So 3 or more people collaborate to have a series of events done secretly. Does not make it fictional. So he is a conspiracy theorist, but maybe some of the lines that he's connecting are just going off into rogue paths.
That he believes what he's saying or just needs people to listen to him.
This show is about information, not continual entertainment.
I think that this was not fair to Alex. I think that, I mean, again, there were a number of things that Alex Jones did and was completely, absolutely, totally fucking vindicated on. And I think that overwhelmingly, like Alex Jones, well, yeah, I mean, again, I don't agree with Alex Jones about everything, right? But to say that it's all about alcohol and everything else, I mean, you have to also keep in mind that, like, if any of this stuff is true, it means he's also being attacked and hounded down by, like, all of these super powerful institutions all the time. And yeah, I bet that's probably going to stress somebody out. It is. It's definitely going to stress somebody out. There's another PoE video now. I'll have to look at it. And very reductive. Yeah, he's a conspiracy realist. Yeah, Alex Jones has gotten a lot of things right. He has gotten an overwhelming amount of things right. I like Moon. I think this is the beginning of it was very accurate, especially in terms of like his humble beginnings and all of that. But I think really like what happened with Alex Jones, I think that one thing that negatively affected him really is the fact that he tied his boat to Donald Trump so much. So it basically meant that he had to underwrite things that Trump would do. And I think that whenever you do that with any individual person, rather than whenever you're working inside of an ideology, it makes you look compromised. And at this point, a lot of conspiracy people have even moved beyond Alex Jones. And this is like, you know, Candace Owens and people that are even more conspiracy brained than that. And this is one of the issue of conspiracy theories is that they are a self-radicalizing spiral. And the more that people get involved...
Because the new evil cabal are the evil, shady Jews. That's who we got to watch out for.
Involved with conspiracy theories, the more people get involved with conspiracy theories. And I think that now it's gotten so extreme that everybody just believes anything. You mean CIA assets? I don't know what's going on, if people are feds or not, or anything else. But, like, to me,
No, and I actually think that the criticisms he gave were fair. He had to gloss over probably a ton of information about Jones, and to pick out some of the moments that, if Moon is the one doing the research, hasn't actually been around for all of Jones's antics compared to like Asmond, who's... Yeah, I do remember Asmond talking about his mom watching quite a bit of Alex Jones and going into some of those conspiracy theories with him. Ah, at least it's not blaming Canada. We get enough shit. But right now, I think our leadership is well deserved for the blame. Yeah, because Moon looked like he had a few minutes on each phase in Jones's career, so I wouldn't really say it was pro or negative. It more seemed more like just a timeline documentary. Asmond's probably more worked up on it. Yeah, it's kind of a running joke up here to play that song once in a while. Asmond's more worked up on it because he's probably had more seen more clips and content that his mom has given.
I feel like a lot of that are just, it's simply just PvP. It seems like it's just different users PvPing each other, stuff like that. And the dead children thing, don't forget to say children died and not just Sandy Hook. Well, yeah, because he said that the children didn't actually die, and the parents, it was all fake, and they were crisis actors and everything. Like, my mom believed in it too, right? Because she was a big fan of Alex Jones. And so, and I always thought it was really stupid. I thought it was stupid the day it happened. And like, what I thought was kind of ironic is that there were other things that were like kind of odd about Sandy Hook. Like, for example, like they said there were 2 shooters at the beginning. Like, I remember I was at Jeff's house and I watched the Sandy Hook news story happen in real time. And like, it was always interesting to me that like they never really discussed that, but they discussed these other conspiracy theories instead of that. And not that I thought that any of them meant anything, but it's like, it seemed like you would have more of a gradient of it, right? And so, yeah, I kept changing the story. I don't know what happened. I mean, who knows why they changed the story? It could be a lot of different reasons. But yeah, that's it.
And that was in Asmond. The Sandy Hook shooting, the changing the stories. There was a lot of mixed information getting thrown around on the radio, and police talking with reporters pre-final conclusion that led to a lot of the confusion and allowed for conspiracy theorists to grab a hold. No different than believing that the Statue of Liberty is a Freemason symbol. So information can easily get twisted and turned into any kind of conspiracy. Alright, now I've got another. Hey, when you want to be the top reporter, you will try to get whatever said out first. The lie will travel halfway around the world before the truth gets out of bed and ties his shoes is part of true because of the media wanting to be first to tell a story. Okay. Now, my third and final music video that I was going to be reviewing is from Null FM, and it's his I'm Not Sure. I popped onto Null only after watching Keen and Don P's Bongwater's stream where they were talking about the Sky Bros community and their falling out, or at least Don P's. And actually, yeah, Null's art style looks like he's gotten much better. I'm curious on what he uses for his for AI tools there. But without further ado, hello Internet. We're doing another AI video react. This time it is Null FM. I'm Not Sure. I'll give my comments at the end. Let's begin.
Around the edges. Maybe that's half the charm. Maybe the shake in my voice ain't a sign I'm disarmed. more.
Yeah, I was actually thinking that it was Seed Dance. Because watching the leg movements totally reminds me of Bong D's K Crusader, when you had the Blue Knocks doing the dance. But and the splash effects kind of reminds me from some of Skybro's sample footage that he posts online on X, saying that it's Sea Dance. I'm pretty sure he is probably paying for that AI, because I know with Vidu, 10 seconds is all I can get with the credits, the free credits that they allow for the drops. Let's get past this. What is next on it? I think it is the leaflet one. Yeah. No. It's a react to a song that I heard earlier, but the reaction, I believe, is coming from... Oh, it is leaflet. Yeah. Okay. No. Mizuki. So, Groom Your Girlfriend came across, and I just had to actually give that a shot. And since Mizuki's was the first one that came by, I figured her react was probably the best one for it. But going back to Goat's actual question on what happened with Don P and the Skybro. So Keen dropped a 3-hour stream. I decided to respond to that, which turned into the only thing of my show, because it turned into a 5-hour full compilation. Now, the first half definitely in the stream is a snorer. It wasn't until Gravy came in that the dynamics kind of picked up. Now, I thought she was coming in to be on Dawn's side, but the way she was trying to steer the conversation only seemed to make Dawn look worse. He had some points that I can understand why he doesn't want to be his personality, thinking that he is trying to be a professional teacher, educator, what's the word I'm looking for? Role model? No. Guide. He kind of had some expectations on a server. And when it turned out that the server was just turned into a little more... Mentor. That's the word I was looking for. Yeah, mentor. See, I actually have meant to have watched his stream, because the one thing that kept popping up on what Gravy kept going on was the country glitchcore. Obviously, there was something between Gravy and Dawn that had really meant to be said, because she kept bringing it back up. But she kept acknowledging that what she created was probably not the best quality of option. Because, hey, when I threw those no Fox given prompts in, a couple of those sounds just sounded like a horrible scratch mix that even with the lyrics kind of just to the recycling bin with you. And I can understand his being notable, because when you get a name drop like Asmondgold or Leaflet or any number of the top YouTuber or VTubers, it can kind of put some pressure that you kind of have to perform to that kind of same expectation all the time. And it just seemed like he kind of burned out on it. So I'm not sure on how that went, and I've kind of popped in and looked into his channel, and it looks like he's not doing the AI stuff and is probably going more with live cam, which I've seen other creators suddenly change their approaches on their content just to stay fresh and develop. But yeah, that was an entertaining stream. At least the last hour and a half, I would say I would catch Keen's that stream, because once you get Gravy in there, oh, he got demonetized. Oh yeah, I think I saw something on X. Yeah, I forgot about that. But going back on lost train of thought. Catch the last hour and a half. That bit is definitely entertaining. But we're going to continue. I'm going to just follow through the chat and do the Groom Your Girlfriend leaflet react by Mizuki. Hello, Internet. We're doing a blind react to a video, another leaflet song, but this is a react to a react again. We are reacting to Mizuki, reacting to Groom Your Girlfriend. I heard the Japanese version, and we'll probably try to find the English one for a reaction to that.
First video of today that is from Leaflet again. Oh my god, Leaflet is outputting videos so fast of her idol career that it's impressive. Like, and the thing is, like, they are not easily made. Like the number of the tools that she said that she used to do that, it's they are insane. I found a post that she was replying to someone asking her about the tools that she used, and they are so many tools that she used to create this. And I was like, what the fuck? How does like she did all of this alone, man? Like it's Asian blood. It's on
yeah, I use like 3 or 4 tools when I'm doing my videos.
To handle all of this stuff together alone. I don't know. So yeah, I don't feel like I can learn all of those tools like that she mentioned there. Like it's real crazy. So yeah, the title of this video is
Spotify. That's the title of this video.
Is Groom Your Girlfriend by Leaflet. By Leaflet. Yeah, let's watch it.
Oh, her tail is going to be in the way for the subtitles.
ポジティビティは悪いよ It's so us 大切な人を一緒に助けようねじゃあ行こう時々自分を見
She's got to get rid of her tail.
もっと素敵になれるのに気づかない社会はそのままがいいって言うけど ちゃおうよ大切な人にちょっとしたプッシュ理想の自分に変えちゃおう棚上げした夢を一緒に掴もう君と私で生産性ゼロで太って中
Yeah, Leaflet. Oh my god, man. She's trying to change the entire culture alone. It's like she's.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be Japanese cringe. It's supposed to be Japanese idol cringe. Uh, she needs the audience, the fanboys that have the idol hats and the clankers. Or wait, nope, streamers. It's the streamers. I kind of wish her tail was out of the way. Then at least the words would have came through.
Try to fighting the Leviathan alone with something. Try to shape the culture using idol musics. I don't know if that will work in future, but she's trying. We gotta agree that she's trying her best. This music, I don't find this music as catchy as the others that she made. This is my opinion. It's fun and all, but compared to the others are big. That's all some amazing hit, but it's still I think that's very nice. Just not better than the others, you know.
See, but isn't Leaflet actually live in Japan? So wouldn't this really fit more with the style that she wants to be portrayed with? Than be kind of living the actual anime fantasy?
I like that she puts like Azuri on this one, like with her like pushing her to not be fat, you know, to not become a fat Karen. Worked hard, you know. Yeah, very nice. What's that? Wash your penis, Jordan Peterson. Oh my god.
Have a good night, Goat Suji. Thanks for staying as long as you did. Oh, is she stateside? See, I've usually just catch her when she's doing her React content. So most of her IRL backstory, I'm not really caught up, and I'm only minorly involved with her VTuber lore. I know her origin story. I know her part in her RPG, but beyond that, nah. I thought her and her mom were over in Japan. So she's a real American weeb.
That's the only fan whore. That's the Karen, right? And what is this? What is this one? Oh, who does one represent? Oh,
Fentanyl zombie.
The people that are drugged or something. The drug addicts. Is that? I don't know. I don't know what is this supposed to be.
I don't know what the reference to the sloth is.
For me, this represents like the billionaires and the government, you know. And so.
Oh, yeah, I've seen a few references.
Yeah.
Oh, is she just gonna replay the?
Positivity is real bad. It's one of the problems of modern society. Yeah.
Oh, she's gonna go over the words.
So Oh, the famous clock, like clock sticking. Yeah. What is this going back to pass? Oh yeah. This is the leaflet, like the junk leaflet version.
Nah, that is an otaku leaflet. That otaku has not left her room in months.
Junk leaflet, like Shonda version. Leaflet Shonda version, yeah.
Base 44 super agents. The next
ad time.
No setup.
And you too stole my job.
Fentleed. Oh my god. Fentleed. Grow your girlfriend. That's good. Grow your girlfriend. Get that fat ass E shape right now.
Give them some starter rules.
Grow your boyfriend. Stop going 24/7. Make it. Make it. Make it.
Yeah, no, she's just gonna re-go over each of the lines one by one. So I am going to cut that out. I didn't even realize the elf in the corner there.
Oh, she's making like she's stopping playing the games. She'll go work out her ass, so she doesn't.
Well, if she wants to be an idol, you gotta stop playing the video games. Unless you just spend all day on the video games. Do like South Park. Rise up. Go kill some hogs. All day, all night. Shit in the bucket. Eat the burritos. Keep playing and stream everything non-stop. People just zone in watching you.
Get fat, yeah. And become a decent human being. High IQ Asian. Like her mother.
I'm gonna move on. I've been wanting to actually check out this other one. So this one will actually just be the last reviewed audio song, because I've had this in my watch later playlist for weeks now. And it's Dear Sky Bros. Who is this? It looked like it was going to be a compilation. Oh, did I pick a bad book by the cover?
Love felt foreign like I never unlocked it. Empty rooms where I buried my hope. No shoulder to cry, so I just learned to cope. Fake smiles, nods, pretend that I'm fine while I bottle up the guilt that I leave behind. Tried to call God, line been dead, so I write my prayers in these verses instead. Tired of feeling like a ghost with a voice. People break down, I don't feel a choice, just blink like I'm stuck in grayscale. Even when they fall, I don't wail.
Is it something in me or something they did? Was I born with this chill or just taught how to live? I see pain on their face, it don't move my chest, but I hate that I'm numb. It's a curse, not a flex. I just wanna feel something, anything at all. Funerals don't shake me, I don't even ball. Heart going quiet like it's stuck in a stall. Is it
Now I'm looking at the mirror like we still got time. Not broken, just buried, gonna dig up mine. If love takes work, I'ma learn that route. If pain makes me feel, then I'm walking it out. To the ones I push back, I ain't proud of the space, but I'm trying to fix me, not erase my face. 1 foot in the dark, 1 hand in the flame, feeling numb, but I swear I won't stay the same. I don't wanna be hollow, I don't wanna be stone. I don't wanna keep walking through this life alone. I just wanna feel something, yeah, even if it hurts. Cause feeling nothing's been the heaviest curse.
The long goodbye.
Okay, I was actually surprised on that one, because that was a blind react to Bubble. Bubble? Booble. Oh, Bubble. Oh, Bubble? Oh, Bubble. It wasn't actually too bad. It kind of caught me off guard. I thought I was getting myself into... this is a battery. Boopilla. 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 Okay. Yeah, the chat translate is having some interesting fun with it. I'm going to pull that title up so I can try reading that again. Bapilla. Boopilla. Boopilla. Yeah, I think a boopilla. Yeah, that one wasn't too bad. I'm going to go back so that I can take a look at what else she has. Asmondgold, the Rot album, Leaflet. Yeah, I think this was kind of what kind of caught my attention. Because I actually thought that was Powder.
Good up, baby, I'm here. Glass just broken and clear. My name tastes like sugar, then it bites back harder. Thumb taps, I don't miss your whole world in a glitch. Cute face, sharp teeth, I kiss you, then I leap. Spinning, spinning, can't keep still. Hands on my chest, got that thrill. Falling, falling through the screen. Say my name, making me. Pixel heart, don't break. Pixel heart, don't shake. Say my name, say it loud. I go up, I go wild. Pixel heart, don't break. Pixel heart, don't shake. If you want me, take me now. I'm that girl, I'm that sound.
I am definitely going to go through and see about adding some of her videos for next show. How's the sound? Still good? Is the music overpowering or am I? Am I take it that she does still images? See, I'm trying to remember what I was, she does both. Oh, no, not that. That was junk. That one. Alright, I'm gonna let this run for a second. I gotta step away.
Everything falls to white, then I come back twice as bright. Hold that breath, feel the spark. One more hit through the door. Ring ding, ring ding, ring ding, ding, I break through. Ring ding, ding, I break you. Hands in the air, let it shake. I don't bend, I don't break. Ring ding, ding, I'm right here. Ring ding ding, no fear. Say my name, watch it swing. Ring ding ding, ring ding ding. Then fade to gold. Ring ding ding. And hold and hold. And hold and hold. Oh, baby, I'm here.
Filter glow on the edge, I feel it coming in hot. Count it down, now watch it. Tap down the hole, I move like I own it all. Chrome grin like on sight, no sleep, just fight. Boots it clean on the floor, hear that knock, I want more. Hands up on the spark, cut the dark. Pressure coming, I can taste it. Every second, how I'm wasted. Riding higher, no back door, I was built for this war.
Oh, which one did you think was a banger? Sorry about that. Had to take a bathroom break and check on if the little demon was finally asleep. Well, unfortunately, none of your description there was liquid DNB. Actually matches with any of the descriptors I kind of have. I mean, I've got glitch hop, hyper energy, electric pop, hyper pop, synth wave, glitch core. Maybe if I look a little deeper. Oh. Synth, fusion, high energy, retro wave. First song before I left. Oh, this one? Nope. Well, hold on. This one? Because I'm pretty sure, let's see, I had Steel Cane, Ding Ding, and this one in first order, but it's set to shuffle. Chick voice, girl, okay, chick voice, I got Pixel Heart, and Ding Ding. Okay, so it's one of the two Steel Riots. Because I've got this in two versions. See, this one was going to be the follow-up after No Fox Given. Because I do have kind of a vision for how this one's already going. But I've also was considering listening through the lyrics for a few days to see if there was any part I wanted to alter before I started working on the video. I don't have the same support. This is looked at as my personal time that I get the 1 day a week to have. But assisting me on it, no. She's right now got her hands full with a few things. See, and that's where I understood what Bong was talking about. Because if you only get the positive reinforcement, you never get the feedback needed to make the modifications to improve it. My wife treats my anime with a far enough interest that she's fine with me having it, but she has no interest in partaking. She tolerates it at best. But she's cursed with kids that love anime. And they're slightly fascinated with my streaming, but they've got their own thing. Oh no, it's sometimes sad when I get laughed on anime by the kids, because they've got more time to do it. Not bad. Mine doesn't have the interest in doing a channel. But she is instructing me to be the watchdog if the kids decide to start theirs. And see, and this is where a lot of my major influence is going to be in the techno and trance kind of level of music. Just melody and beat. Something that gets your emotions moving in a story in your mind. Oop, wrong button. See, and then that would explain why this came out the way it did. Change this file. Because I was getting a lot of cyberpunk reference, especially because a lot of my early use for doing analysis was through Grok. I now kind of just rotate between a couple of different ones to see what they give me for a response. See, I had DJ Tiesto as one of my more heavier influences. See, my brother and I had his multiple CDs running through our car when we were out on the town. And usually the goal was, since we were the group chauffeurs, was if we could make it to the end of the CD. That only ever came true on 2 nights. We had to start very early. Yeah, that one was a good one. Summer Breeze was the one that we used to get through. But Searching for Sunrise and Magic 5. Those ones we had to break up into different parts. Once we were able to actually cut the file in half and then burn 2 separate disks. Because most of the time when we were driving around, we never got near the end of it. And a big CD flip book of multiple discs for anyone else's to choose a selection. Yeah, we had them too. But in our neighborhood, we ended up having a lucky enough on Wednesday nights, a particular bar had slow business, so they converted one night a week for preteens, non-alcohol, have the night. And of course the DJ ended up going through a lot of trance and a lot of rap. I think the whole thing lasted for about a year before, because of where the bar was, the kids of the rougher neighborhood happened to move in, and so the event kind of got closed down and went back to its normal bar operations. But for a short period of time, we had a little mini club in high school years. Break dancers, yes. Although there were a few songs that had some pretty good moves the girls had going, so it not only got the rougher crowd, it got the more interesting crowd. Troublemakers would definitely be an understatement as the program went. The owner definitely started it out pretty simple, but because it became accessible to a large population in the city, anyone who could make it there got there. It was fun. A couple of fights outside was part of the catalyst that led to it being shut down. And having bouncers having to push around and rough around teenagers did not make for good optics. police too. Although, come to think about it, the worst part about it, 2 blocks down was a church, and so the makeup of the community was a very mix of a small businesses and residential. And so having this bar near this church, near these houses, kind of made things a little rowdy. Eventually they tore down the bar some years back because, yeah, it didn't make enough income from its location. The residents constantly had problems with the police showing up for bar fights, and its attempt to cater to anything else didn't really work out. They tried dress codes, their business dropped, and they were out. No, it was just teenagers. The bouncers kept any adults from coming in. There was a few times where there was people thinking that the bar was open, getting turned away. Poor management. Yeah, it had changed hands a couple times. At the time it did the youth program, it was, guy was in his 20s. My buddy was hanging out with him, talking, kind of learning what the business was, because he kind of dilly-dallied in and out of kind of shadier stuff. When it finally shut down, it had already changed a number of hands. This is where it tried to change its appearance. But now it's a flat lot. But I do have fond memories of the short time it had its club, as rowdy as it did get. And a lot of it was the techno and rap, because that was the generation was essentially picking. Which version is this one? Yeah. There, this version is actually the original. The 3 monitors was a change up on finding out if I could do it with... No? Oh yeah, it's 3 monitors, but it's a different tempo. See, I felt the other one had more power behind it, which is where it got published instead of this version. I didn't felt anything wrong with this version, but it was those downbeats there that I noticed a difference in power. But I did admit that this had a few sound parts that would have been great for shorts. because I could use the shorts clips to point back to the original post. And that's kind of what I'm looking at with when you get these. I'm going to just skip this one. When you get these multiple versions that the AI renders for you. Because you get bits and pieces of them that they kind of sound good. Together in the whole, they don't really sound good together. But in their separate songs, you could work them if you could tweak or rework one component in it. And I haven't actually worked out my process on changing that. Right now, my process is going to be either just a synth audio or some other audios, working out how well I can work lyrical structure and or change up segments of the lyrics. Because if I'm not reading it, I don't hear the song. I hear murr, 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 chorus, murr, 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 murr. I hear the melody, and that is what pulls my attention. That is what moves my body. And this is where the wide variety of soundtracks in my actual audio would be like I said, a motley crew of music. Most likely with a lot of this slower music, I'm going to go with female audio because I've already got, with how the prompts go in, storylines behind some of them. Right now, not really a functional universe, but I'm piecing it together. It's kind of just how my motif has been. Yeah, whatever catches the brain. Well, considering the original start of this whole process for No Foxes was on Wednesday, and it was just because I had caught an interest on Skybro's original song and had wanted to replicate its music. YouTube. I'm going to probably just run the music for a while and keep working on edits on the back end. You have a good night.